called many things in my life, but this is the first time I've been called a legend. I think that's what she said. Well, here I am, a legend. That's great, isn't it? I'm going to say a very few words by way of introduction to the conference and then hand over to some of my esteemed colleagues. I note the theme today is Dream, Dare, Discover, Define and Deliver Drivers for Global Success. Now you will all be aware, and I'm going to be very biased here, that higher education, of course that's the industry I represent, in the UK is, I believe, the best in the world, quite frankly, and I apologise to my Australian and Canadian and other English-speaking colleagues for that statement. We welcome Indian students to our universities in Britain. We have thousands of students in India studying on a number of courses, part-time, top-up, distance learning, T&E, all related to UK universities. And despite some of the rhetoric you might hear about universities in the UK not being as welcoming to overseas students as they might be, take it from me and my Vice-Chancellor colleagues that the door is very widely open to all of you to come and study in the United Kingdom. Now, our relationship with Amity University at the University of Northampton goes back about 5 years. I think this is the 5th time I've been to the INBUSH conference, sat at the table with Professor Singh. And I must say I do look forward to this as part of the calendar of my global travels. I was in China last month, I'm in India, and I'm going to be in Fiji in a couple of weeks' time. I've never been to Fiji before, so I'm quite looking forward to that. It's a long way away, mind you. All to do with universities and the sorts of things that we do as we dream and we dare to discover and we define global success. Now, one example of what we're doing with Amity University is beginning to develop a much more mature relationship in terms of the courses that we offer jointly. So we started off perhaps in a more traditional route around the MBA. We have a very successful MBA program running in Amity campuses in Singapore and in Mauritius. And we're keen to see what will happen further with our MBA programs, perhaps when the New York campus, and I believe Professor Singh one in San Diego, is it San Diego or San Francisco opens? So a lot of opportunities there in the MBA territory. But we've started to expand now and looking at different areas where we have strengths in. And one of those is journalism, multimedia journalism. You'll notice the cameras here flashing, and the sound technicians and the cameramen. Well, they all need to be trained up to be able to do their job properly. And so we've run a suite of courses at the University of Northampton, specifically around multimedia journalism, which are incredibly successful. And we are welcoming the first cohort of Amity students to study with us on those programs. I wanted to end with a story, actually, which I think picks up on this theme of daring to dream, daring to discover, daring to define and deliver. So if we could go back in time, in a time machine, to England, okay, like that, click my fingers, we're back in 1265, 13th century, in rainy, wet England, and it's very cold there at the moment, I can tell you. Imagine that you're there, and you look around and you want to study at a university. Well, you have a choice of three universities. You could go to the University of Oxford, you could have gone to the University of Cambridge, or you could have gone to the ancient University of Northampton. Yes, there were 3 universities in England in the 13th century. Unfortunately, the University of Oxford, which is about 30 miles away from Northampton, didn't like the Northampton University, and they lobbied the king, who at the time was a gentleman called King Henry II. They lobbied him so hard that he decided to close down the ancient University of Northampton, which is a shame because if that had remained open, you'd have an arc of ancient universities stretching across the middle part of England. And it took 700 years of dreaming and daring to dream and discovering until that university was reopened, or rechristened as university in 2005. So we had about a 750-year, I think it is, sabbatical in Northampton from being university. And when we were about to become a university, when all of our dreams were coming to life, and bringing this university back again, we discovered an ancient parchment in the Houses of Parliament in London, which said, and it was signed by King Henry II, that there could never be a university in Northampton. He had banned universities in Northampton. So we had to get that piece of legislation, ladies and gentlemen, overturned and so I can categorically say that we are the only university in the world, possibly the universe, that's been closed down by a king and reopened 700 years later by a queen, and that was Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. So I think that's a great story, a daring good dream about things happening, things changing. Hold on to those dreams, and especially the students as you graduate. Make sure that you do fulfill your dreams, go out into the world with passion, and you can make a real difference. So thank you very much indeed. I look forward to the rest of the conference, and I hope to see you all a bit later at some of the social functions. Thank you very much.